Hey friends, welcome to another episode. My name is John Sowash, and in this video you're going to learn about 5 Chrome extensions that will make your Google Meet experience even better. Now, Google Meet and Zoom and other video conferencing tools have become a central focal point in the classrooms of teachers around the world due to the coronavirus school shutdown. The question of Meet versus Zoom comes up all the time. I probably answer that question 1 to 3 times every day. But honestly, the reality is it doesn't matter. It's kind of like Coke versus Pepsi, Ford versus Chevy. Pick the platform that works best for you. Now, if you're teaching with Chromebooks, Google Classroom, if you're a G Suite for Education school, it makes sense to use Google Meet. It's integrated with all of those other products. So in this video, I'm going to be highlighting 5 Chrome extensions that will help your Meet experience be even better. Now, Zoom is a pretty cool platform. They have some nice features, and a lot of teachers are disappointed that Zoom doesn't have some of those features. These Chrome extensions will give you some of those same features and functionality. So you can see here I've got quite the setup. I've got 2 devices. This device over here is actually my student device, so I've got a bunch of student accounts in a Google Meet session here. This is my teacher device, and so I'll be moving back and forth between them so you can kind of get both the teacher and the student view. All right, let's dive in. Now, the first extension that I'd like to share with you is called Grid View. Now, Zoom has a feature that allows you to see all of the participants in a virtual meeting at the same time. Google Meet does not. Now, a recent update to Google Meet has added something in that is helpful. If you go down to the 3 dots in the bottom right corner of your screen and click on Change Layout, you will see this new tiled layout, and that is definitely an improvement. The tiled layout will allow you to see up to 16 people in your Meet session at the same time. If you have less than 16 students, it's a great option. You don't really even need an extension. It's built right in. But most teachers have more than 16 students, and you'll still run into the same issue where some participants won't be displayed. There's a wonderful Chrome extension called Grid View that will allow you to see an unlimited number of participants at the same time. And I know this, and I've tested this. I was in a session about a week ago that had more than 200 people in it. I was using Grid View, and it worked beautifully. It's a little crazy. The picture gets smaller and smaller, but it does work. So here is the Grid View extension. You just need to have it installed. It's free. And when it's installed, you'll get this little checkerboard icon within Google Meet. Now, if you see the little line through the checkerboard, that means that Grid View is disabled. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Grid View. That will turn it on, and now all of my participants will be tiled. Now, Grid View does offer a couple of really cool bonus features as well. If I put my mouse over the Grid View extension, you'll see the drop down. So for those who don't have video, I can hide them. I can highlight the speaker, so whomever's talking is going to be more prominent. Some teachers, a lot of teachers do want to be able to see their video feed even while they're observing their students, and so you can make that happen as well. Then this last one is pretty slick. I've used it a few times. If you need to take a screenshot of your video, perhaps for attendance or documentation purposes, you can enable that, which just makes it easier to take a screenshot. And you can even hide the participant's name if you like as well. So it's a great extension. I'd highly recommend it. I do like the tiled view that Google has rolled out, but Grid View still has an important place. Okay, so that's option 1. That solves a major complaint with Meet, which is being able to see everyone on your screen. Now, one quick note about Grid View. It's great for the teacher, but I actually don't typically recommend that students install Grid View, because if you are presenting a lesson to them, they don't need to see everyone in the class. They want to see your screen primarily. So most of the time, I recommend Grid View for teachers. Students really don't need it unless you're presenting as a whole group. When I do a virtual session for teachers, a lot of them have Grid View installed. I actually have them turn it off when I'm presenting so they can see my screen more clearly. All right, so that's the first one. That's called Grid View. The second extension I'd like to share with you is Nod. Now, this is a really good one for students. They're going to love this. It really adds a lot of function to Google Classroom. Nod allows students and participants to provide reactions throughout your video. So when you have the Nod extension installed over in the top left corner of your screen, you're going to get these emoji icons. So if I put my mouse over the thumbs up, you can see all the different emojis that are there. So if my teacher tells a really funny joke, I can click the LOL and that will be displayed on the screen for everyone else to see as well. I also really like the hand raise feature, which is really helpful for large groups. If someone has a question, they can click the hand raise icon. That will stay on the screen. It identifies the person. And as the presenter, I can then say, oh, hey, John has a question. Stop and allow John to unmute his mic and then speak to the rest of the class. The only way that you can use the Nod extension is if everyone has it installed. So in order to see the reaction icons, you must have the extension. It's important that you have that extension installed prior to joining your meeting, unless, or you have to refresh, exit, and then rejoin the session for it to load. It's really fun. It adds kind of, again, like Facebook or Instagram live video reactions to your session. Allows your students to stay engaged, you to get some feedback while you're presenting to them. So that's number 2, our second Chrome extension called Nod. Extension number 3 is called Meet Attendance. If it is important for you to take attendance during your sessions, this is a perfect extension. It is a little funky to use. I'm going to try to walk you through it. The Meet Attendance extension only needs to be installed by the teacher. The teacher is going to be the one taking the attendance. And you're actually going to go to the People tab in your Meet session. So this is where it will list all of the participants. When you have the Meet Attendance extension installed, you're going to see this bonus icon right in the middle, this clipboard. Okay? Putting your mouse over that clipboard will bring up a series of options. Now, it does work well, but it is a little bit cryptic because it doesn't actually explain what any of these icons do. So I'll do my best to explain it for you. The first thing you're going to want to do is click this first icon on the left, and that will create a new Google spreadsheet. So your attendance is going to be taken in Google Sheets. That will create a new spreadsheet for you. It may prompt you to log into your Google account the first time you use it. If you ever want to view that spreadsheet, simply click the Meet Attendance icon right up at the top here. Now, right now, Meet Attendance is off, and that's what this first toggle switch is. This is the on-off button. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on, and you'll know that it's on because it will record. It'll show you the total number of people in your session currently, 5. If I want to view the attendance, I'll go ahead and click the Meet Attendance icon. That will open up the Google Sheet, and it automatically records the names of everyone currently logged into the Meet session. Now, this is designed to be very passive. It just works. And so anytime you view the attendance, you view the people in the session, it will record who is there. So I don't know if you could catch that, but if I click off on the screen here and then I go and view the participants again, you're going to see the Meet Attendance icon very briefly turns red. That tells you that it's working. And then if I look at my attendance sheet, every time I do that, it adds a new row. And so you could take attendance at the beginning, middle, and end of the session to see who was there the entire time, who dropped off over time. It's a little funky, and it has some rough edges, but it does the job. Once you kind of use it for a little bit, you understand how it works. It'll make sense. Now again, just to round off the different settings here, I'll do it one more time. So the first link icon is to create a new sheet. So every time, if you want to create a new sheet for attendance for each session, you would click that one. The second button will create a new sheet within your workbook. So it'll just take the attendance on different sheets. This is the on-off toggle switch, and then the last one on here is the scroll switch. And I guess this is how it's coded. So if you have a very big meeting with dozens and dozens of people, it actually has to scroll all the way down on the screen to capture everyone's name. So you're going to want to leave that last switch over on the right, leave that on at all times. If you don't want to take attendance throughout the session, you would take it the first time, just go down here, turn it off, and then maybe turn it back on at the end to record attendance at the end of your session. There is a video in the Chrome Web Store that kind of walks you through Meet if you need another refresher, but that should get you started. So that's our third extension, Meet Attendance. The next one I'd like to share with you is interesting, and I think this one will be particularly helpful to elementary teachers. Muting and unmuting the microphone is a challenge. It's a challenge for adults, and it's a challenge for elementary students as well. The fourth extension I'd like to share with you is called Push to Talk, and it allows you to use the space bar to mute and unmute your mic. So the Push to Talk extension must be installed for everyone in the meeting, so students, teachers alike. You'll see this fun little monkey icon right here. That's the extension. There is one trick that you have to know for this to work well, okay? So people are going to join the meeting, and then they must first manually mute themselves. So you join the meeting, and then you are going to need to go down here and manually click the mute button. Once you have done that, you can use the space bar to mute and unmute. So if I press space, you'll notice that the mic icon turns white again, and I let go, and it turns red again. So it's a really simple way to mute and unmute your mic, as long as you remember that first time you have to manually mute yourself. You will need to teach your students now how to press and release that mute button, but it works really, really well. It's a simple way for short responses from your students. So that's our fourth extension. It's called Push to Talk. Last one, number 5. Another very, very common question that I receive is, when I am presenting, how do I still see my students, so I still want to watch their video screens, and also share my presentation or whatever it is that I want to share? Now the way that I do it is by using this second monitor. So typically I will keep the Meet session on my computer, and then whatever website or presentation I'm sharing, I will put on this second monitor, and I only share this one. If you only have one monitor, then you can utilize a Chrome extension called Dual-less. So essentially, if you are dual monitor-less, this is the extension for you. So I'll do a quick demo of it. Let's pretend I want to share this screen right here, okay? But I also want to keep an eye on my student video feeds. Here is the Dual-less Chrome extension, and this is a window splitter. So I'm going to click on that, and that's going to give me a variety of options. How do I want to split my screen? You can see 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. I'm going to do kind of a middle one, 60-40, okay? So I'm going to click on that, and that will split my screen. Okay, so I've got here's the website that I want to share over on the right, and I still have my video feeds over on the left. Now when I click on the Present button, I'm going to present typically a window, and I will simply select the window that has the presentation, the PowerPoint, the Google slide, the website that I wish to share. So I'm going to click on Share. Now my students can see what's over here on the right side of my screen, but I can still keep an eye on them and see what's happening on the left side of my screen. Now, anything that I do here over on the left, I mean, I can open a new tab, I can open up my email, open up my calendar. Students won't be able to see any of that because I'm only sharing what's posted over on this side. It's a very helpful, very useful strategy for kind of hiding some things and displaying other things. The challenge with this is you have limited screen real estate. So if you have a smaller device, it's just not a very big window to work with. If you're going to be doing this frequently, I would recommend investing in a second monitor so that you can do the same thing. You just have a lot more screen space to work with. So that's my fifth extension. Again, that's called Dual-less, which allows you to mirror or split your windows so that you can see more than one thing at the same time. Now, there are some additional issues with Google Meet that I do not have solutions for. Unfortunately, we're still working on those. So things like the ability to change your background, automatically mute participants, those are still issues that need to be resolved. If you have a suggestion, if you have any tools that will let you accomplish those things in Google Meet, I would love to hear about them. Thanks for watching. See you next time.